Just joined us is Cameron Feeling, live on CRTV. In a bit, we'll be talking about the Khmer-born talent competition you may want to be a part of. But first, let's highlight this book right in front of me. It's actually in French. It's both in French and English, but I'll read the title in English. From Semantics to Translation, a semantic and morphosyntactic approach to translation. The author is a senior English and French teacher, translator, and reviser. We have him right here, Thomas Dakin Tabi Kumabok. You're welcome.
Thank you very much, madam.
Glad to have you here.
Thank you.
Can you just briefly tell us about this book and why you wrote it?
All right, thank you for giving me the opportunity to say a word about this book. You see, as a professional translator, I decided to write this book to map out strategies to allow the translator to translate efficiently and confidently, because in our translation school, we find students with different backgrounds, maybe law, economics, geography, and also we find students who have just graduated from secondary school. And we found it necessary to write this book in order to give the ins and outs of language when it comes to translation.
What's the difference between translation and interpretation?
Well, translation has to do with writing. We talk about written translation, and we are looking for the precise term. We need precise terminology, whereas interpretation is spoken translation, and is much more pretty much synthetic.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what is a semantic, like you said in your book, semantic and morphosyntactic approach to translation?
Yeah. This is an approach to translation which considers semantic as the nitty-gritty of translation studies.
Okay.
So fundamentally, you have to understand that context is all in all. As per this approach, context is all in all, and actually, context makes room for thinking, which in turn result in discourse. Put differently, context make room for thinking, which result in discourse. So, and you have to understand that syntax is not autonomous, because syntax is commanded or governed by thinking, which bears both the message and the intention, and the speaker's intention. And when it comes to translation, translation is neither word for word, nor structural, but context and situation bound. So what we translate is not word. We translate the content, we translate the message mixed with the intention.
This leads to the next question. How do we harvest meaning in translation?
All right, meaning, to harvest meaning, we need to question the surface message that we have and make sure that there is a significant amount of harmony between the message, which is actually written, and the speaker intention.
Yes.
So that's why we have to look at if you have to take a look at the John Austin speech arc theory, we are going to talk about the illocutionary dimension of the message, because we need to ask ourselves this question when we have a message. First of all, need to understand that language is used for communicative purposes. So when we have a message, we have to ask this question: what does the speaker want to say here? Is he giving information? Are they describing something? Are they questioning? Are they speaking against something? That's why we talk about the illocutionary dimension. So what we translate is actually the message mixed with the intention, or that illocutionary aspect of the message.
In your book, you talked about implicatures in discourse. What does that mean?
Actually, implicatures have to do with implied messages that are messages which are inferred contextually. You see, for instance, if I step in this room and then I say it is hot, and if I say it is hot because I am talking about weather, then it is hot means it is hot.
Yes.
But if I step in this room and everything is closed, the windows are closed, and maybe you have the air conditioner, maybe it is hot in that context means, please, would you like to open the window, or can you actually activate the air conditioner? So what we are trying to say is that we do not translate the word that we have. We need to make sure that we contextualize. So translation, as I said, is context bound, and we need to make sure that there is a significant amount of harmony between what we say, what is written, and the intention. And all this is inferred contextually.
Okay, before we let leave of you, in this age of artificial intelligence, do the translators and interpreters still have space, or will they be wiped away?
No, they can't be wiped away. They still have their say, because there are a number of a tremendous number of linguistic parameters which are still running away from machine translation or artificial intelligence. We have things like linguistic ambiguities, you have transcreation, you have intonation, you have poetry. You have to translate poetry. You have idioms. You cannot translate idioms. Artificial intelligence is still failing to translate idiom, because idioms are translated contextually.
There you go.
So that is so what we used to do is in freelance translation, for instance, client used to say, although we have what we call machine translation post-editing, when we receive project, clients say, all right, we trust humans. That means although the machine has done the job, we expect human to get the job done efficiently. You understand? So it means never will artificial intelligence actually supersede human translation.
Okay, so where can we get this book?
Actually, the book, you can get in touch with me, or you can buy the book on the publisher website, which is Edition Jedang, or you can get it from Amazon. It's true that Cameroonians are complaining that the book is very expensive, but I'm very sorry, because we buy iPhones, we buy cars.
How much is the book? How much is the book?
Actually, for you to get the book here, because the book normally costs 23.30 euro plus the shipping fees. So
in francs?
Yeah, in France. The book was published in France.
No, in francs CFA, how much?
The book cost 23.30 euro, as you can see in the back of the cover, and for you to get it, you pay that 23.30 euro, and you add to that amount the shipping fees, which are 39.
Which makes it how much?
With this amount to 41,000 francs CFA.
41,000 francs
Yes.
CFA. It's worth it. Good morning.